Evening. How's everybody doing? I don't know if you can tell, but I've made a few changes. Got some new cameras. That'll hopefully improve the quality here. And ooh. Also made it so that I'm able to see the chat a little better. So hopefully I can respond to anybody that pops in a little more quickly than usual. Okay. Well, when last we left our hero, he had an absolutely filthy piece of paper covered with scraps of stuff he'd done and that he'd gotten plenty wet. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a fresh piece. Which means I turn around and grab one from behind me. Oh, I also promised a friend. Hey, how you doing, Laura? I promised a friend that I would throw a message up on Discord so they could see when I started streaming. So let's drop it to them. There. Posted. Just to let everybody know, one day coming up, I'm going to have an out of normal time stream because I've got a friend in the UK who complains that 9 p.m. here is for some reason just a little too late for him. All right, so we had mostly finished up I think we had finished, yeah, all the panel lighting on this Javelin is all done. If we can get the camera to focus on them. There we are. No, not on my hands, on the Mech. And of course now the cameras are uncooperative. But there we are. So we need to do the detailing on his weapon and his cockpit. The Clint, we had just started on the panel lining. I had demonstrated the difference in using... Oh no, it looks like I finished his panel lining too. Well, son of a gun. Monday was productive. Yeah, I'm liking that. So, both of these... both of these have jump jets that we're going to do as well. The Merlin, I did the cockpit. And this is the one that I demonstrated kind of what inks do versus the panel line accelerator versus the shade paints from Citadel. I do think I'm going to need another ring light over this to give you guys the best possible look. But that is a not now. Right now is painting time. And these two buggers, I still need to do the panel lining on the Hellbringer. And the Ostroc needs some more panel lining. I missed a couple of spots. And weapons detailing. And jump jets. And jump jets. Okay. I forgot, Aaron really likes jumpy mechs. The mild debacle I ran into is I stupidly damaged the nib on one of my two pens, and I spent a few minutes trying to find my nibs. Ta-da! After the stream, I went, where would I have put these? Back before I printed out this big honkin' vase to keep my my paints in. And then I remembered, I used to keep them in with my paintbrushes. So I have a travel paintbrush kit that I like very much. I don't travel with my paints very often. Oop, that's not the one. That's the one I gave to my kids. Nice zipper pouch that stands up on its own, so you give yourself plenty of convenient workspace. And it folds down nicely. I had tucked them behind here because, you know, I'd remember that for some reason. No, I wouldn't. So we learn, we grow, we move on. All right. So I think I'm going to start with some panel lining, and I've done most of him in black. I think I'll do the rest of him with Nuln Oil, which was the primary thing I was working with last week. And actually, I think I'd rather use Drakenhof Nightshade. So, just a quick comparison. Oh. Quick shake. So my Nuln Oil is getting real low. I just realized I flipped the camera one way but not the other. Now I feel a little silly. Can I flip it horizontally? Nope. Bummer. Okay. So that's black, and then we're going to look at the Drakenhof Nightshade. Didn't dry it off properly. Let me do. Sometimes I'm just a little impatient and it affects the work. Here we go. Much better. Okay. There. So, of course, everything I'm writing is coming out backwards. But I'll just strike it through. And you can see it's a lot more blue than it is black. So let's go ahead and here we go. There, starting to get into the rhythm. Oh, I'm working with the big one. All right. I always prefer the small one. Okay. Oh, I want to bring up, these are my two favorite materials to use, the Citadel Shade paints and the panel line accent color from Tamiya. The one thing I will say, sometimes it's just the night. I have a lot more, which one I do better with. Sometimes it's just the look I'm going for. It's just a feeling. I do have a lot broader number of shades and colors in the shade paints. So Tamiya has a good number of colors. It's not quite so broad as the Citadel shades. So
I have you muted on this so they don't get feedback.
everybody say hi to Laura. She's over on the couch. She is having a well-earned dessert after a long day, and sitting and watching anime before this with two absolutely ridiculous human beings. So there we go. Oh. I'm not crazy about how this particular nib is working. Oh, wow. This one is stingy. I'm going to say no thank you to this one. It's just a little too small. Of course, it's not wanting to come out. Convenient. Oh, there. I think I knocked it loose. So let's try this again. There we go. Loosened up the nib a little. Apparently by trying to pull it out. Ooh. Yeah, officially not a fan of this nib. Okay. Got it out. A pox on the... Let's see what else we got in here. What was this? Oh, that's number 1. That's itty bitty. So you have an extra number 1. Let's see. Number 3. No number 2. Oh, there's the number 2. That's a weird number 2. Let's go with let's go with the number 3 to start. Okay. Oop. That was my bad. Dip. Oh, that's perfect for me. Okay. Now we're cooking. See if I can line up. Put another couple in here. Apparently my video is frozen.
Must be.
One sec. What does the magic rectangle show me?
Could be neat.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and on the Ostroc put down a little bit of the blue. There we are. And that way you should be able to see it as a direct comparison to the black in these couple of spots. There we are. I don't know if that's going to show as well as I want. It's just a little softer of a look than you get with the Null Oil. Obviously, if you're doing really light colors, Null Oil, with that black is going to really look a little cartoonish. And if that's what you're going for, that's great. If not, there are plenty of alternatives. There. I'm okay with this fill-in of the blue. Add a little bit over the black because it won't reactivate the black. There's not enough of it. So, but it can help with that differentiation a little more. And you can see I'm right here, right up against the lighter blue on the hand. It'll look better than that stark black in terms of keeping it looking a little more mechanical, a little less cartoony, which is what I'm going for. That being said, I do still want to pick up a set of the Somerset Strikers and paint them and go full cartoony on them. For those that don't know, the Somerset Strikers were a unit made up of members of many of the Inner Sphere houses, the beginning of the clan invasion, and they were the basis of the Battletech cartoon, which was, oh my, a piece of its time in terms of animation and art style and yikes colors. So I believe it was also directed by Will Munoz, but I'm not 100% sure. it definitely had his art sensibilities, which some of you may remember from the 90s X-Men and one of my all-time favorite cartoons, Exo Squad. There. Oh, a little more. And in case you're wondering, every time I use a quill, my finger looks like that. I wind up with ink or shade paint or anything against it just from the way I naturally hold it. And then I have to spend forever washing my hands again. Oh, I caught the tip of the nib. Spilled too much in there. I'm kind of okay with the shade it gave it, though. So I'm not going to try too hard to clean that up. Because that particular area would be fairly well in shadow from a top view. There we go. There we are. Accentuate the belly. No. Okay. You know, I think I'm satisfied with him. So let's... Now here's something I'm not 100% sure of. What is a typical Ostroc weapon loadout? I am going to go the dead tree route, because sometimes I just like looking through my old Battletech books. All right. I'm pretty sure they're pre-3055, but I mean, I can't tell you how many times I read through these books as a kid. All right, 2750 with the worst mech ever made. I will die on that hill. That's the Hussar. It is terrible. Okay, it was not that year. Now, most of the iconic Star League mechs can be found 3025. Ostroc, page 76. I love the dragon. Okay, here we are. So we can clearly see the SRM-4. And so these are large lasers and medium lasers. Okay. There are plenty of other resources, but like I said, I was in the mood to go dead tree. Make sure we get the clumps of paint off. There we are. I'm not that worried about any staining that's up that high. I can come back to that. Really, you need to make sure that the well and the actual cutout are empty. So I want to start with, which of these is open? Oh, great, they're both open. That was dumb. Lothern blue, and for a medium laser, I like going green. So Warpstone glow, and then to dress them up, I think I'm going to grab Appleseed from Turbo Dork and Dabba-Dee from Turbo Dork. And then to finish it off, I'm going to glaze it. So, where'd it go? Oh, goodness. I'm half done my Waywatcher green. But I do have plenty of my Gullyman blue. I like green. Okay. So, 3-part paint. And they're tiny. So, I'm going to grab my trusty Beat Up Zero. Little water helps it spread. Pop. I also like to brush the underside of the tongue off. That helps reduce the residue that you get built up on these. That being said, this one's getting close to needing to be scraped. So we're gonna start with the base blue. there and there. And remember, I'm going to use a synthetic brush for the Turbo Dork stuff. It is metallic base, so I don't want to get that up in my... Where's my shaker? I don't want to get the metallic base up into the ferrule of my brush. There it is. Gee, it was knocked down. I wonder by who. The sleeping goober. Okay, just a touch. And while I'm at it, oh, I didn't even shake it up that well. That was... there. Yeah, I'm not sure it's coming out on the camera, but this dot, I can see more of the metallic flecks in it. The other looked really flat. We'll mix up the apple seed. Okay. What are you doing? Come on. Here we are. All right. Take the opportunity to double plus on good. Save me, Abaddon Black, save me. I'm going to go with a slightly larger brush than I did for the initial pigments for the metallics, because it's just harder to carry enough metallic with too few bristles. So I'm just going to dab that in there, rinse, dab that in there. There we go. What weapons are on the Hellbringer? Ugh. I'm pretty sure that's not a 3025 Mech. Definitely not a 2750. All right. 3026 was really just vehicles. All right, 3039 has a good chance. 3039 was put out as a compilation. This is one of the publications available from Catalyst, from when they first took over the brand, pretty much. Nope. So that tells me it's going to be a newer one. Really, 3050? I forgot the 3050 had an updated version of the Hussar in it. I'm just saying, that's terrible design. 3055. No. Ooh, now Dennis is curious. We're going to abandon Dead Tree. Hellbringer, site. Sarna.net. It's the best thing. Oh, no, not the Hellbringer. It's not the Hellbringer. I keep doing that. It's the Hellspawn. It's not the Loki. That's right, this was a late one. 3062 was its production year. Okay. Medium pulse lasers. So we're going to go a lot of green on this puppy. Ouch. And apparently I'm going to bang the snot out of my knee. That was dumb. Okay, so again. Oh, and if you're wondering why I laid him down like that, I wanted to make sure that I kept the metallics in place. Didn't want them kind of shifting and dribbling. That is Dot. Dot is amazing, but also kind of a butthead sometimes. I am surprised she jumped up across the table. So we got our little Hellspawn. And close up the Waystone green. Pick this up. Just touch it in there. Ooh, want a little more. There. I want them to sit upright for just a minute. What I'm going to do next, while the Hellspawn is drying, is I'm going to apply the glazes to just give it that final glazy shine. None of this is necessary. I do this because I think it looks cool and I like it. I like having my energy weapons looking like they're primed to fire. Also, yeah, a little touch more. Touch the window. Do what makes you happy with this. Ooh. I think I need to go and pick up some more Waywatcher green. There. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to plug another product. I don't get any money for this. Paint Rack. It is a very handy app for managing your paint collection. Mine, as you can see, is a little ridiculous. But big plus on it, you can sort by manufacturer. You can just do a search, let's say green. I know now what greens are available from Citadel. If it's solid, it's something I have. If it has a number in it, you have more than one. So this Waystone green, I'm going to also add to wish list. And that is how I manage when I need to go to the store. I'll put it in the wish list here. Oh, I already got that. I didn't move it. Oops. So I can just click. I can remove it from wish list. Waystone green, dark warm gray. I talked about that a couple weeks ago. Agrex Earthshade. I'm running low on, and Agrex Earthshade Gloss I haven't seen in forever. I think they stopped making it, and that's sad. I really liked the. That's very much. It's one of the shade paints, like the Drakenhof Nightshade, and Nuln Oil. I've got a right here. Oh, I see that I already went and picked up a bottle, and I just didn't move it off. So let's go back in here. We'll go to Library, Citadel. All right. Actually, let's just do all. Search. All. Null. I see what I did. Remove from wish list. And Agrex. Remove from wish list. And I still have it in my collection. So, that makes my shopping list a little more reasonable. Seriously, not using something to organize my paints has got me in trouble a little bit. Oh, look. Spammer. Likely band evader. No, you don't say. Okay. Okay. As I was saying before we got spammed, one of the things I wound up doing was accidentally buying 5 things of Lothern blue. So if anybody out there needs Lothern blue or also gloss white from Vallejo, I have a lot of it. And it was very silly of me to buy that much. Okay, and now I've talked and dawdled long enough that I can go ahead and apply the Waystone Green to the Hellspawn. I'm going to apply a little more gloss to his cockpit as well. Because I got it out, I might as well do it. All right, I got a little much on there, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it back with the brush. There. Again, capillary action is your friend. It'll get sucked back into the brush for you. There. Okay, and now because I feel like the Ostroc's pilot is a cocky bastard, I'm gonna paint his SRMs because I feel like it. And I'm gonna make them this Uriel yellow. And for this, because I want to be very careful, I'm going to switch to these things. Heftier magnifiers, but lets me see exactly how the paint is flowing. And if I leave them on too long, they give me a massive headache, so... I only use them for the smallest details. And the yellow is just a little bit of flavor on it. So I'm going to call him done except for his jump jets. I'm going to do all the jump jets at once because jump jets, you know, I'm using the same 4 paints pretty much constantly. I almost forgot the Wolverine has jump jets too. So, let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and go yellow on... No, he's got the definite indentations. And his are definitely sticking out. So... Re-derange my paints again. Alright, so we got... We'll put him here. Every once in a while, I'll realize I've gotten too cluttered and it affects me a little bit mentally when I'm trying to focus on the painting. So I'll pick up and put away some of the extras just to clear my visual space. But again, that is what works for me. Do what works for you. Okay. There. Cleared some of this, mostly over on this side. So. That's right. Okay. Oh yeah. Get rid of these things. All right. Now we're going to go back to some more panel lining. Push you guys up here. Oh yeah, we're going in there. Okay. I'll put the Nuln Oil away for now. Yeah, when I say there are shades for nearly everything, this is a super light gray. So it's good for going over, you can see it starting to mix there, for going over whites to do panel lining. I got a little something on the tip there. Oh, I got it off. Okay. that went a little thick, so I'm going to go ahead and dab. There. Dab, not, to dance. There we go. Did it again. Dabbing off though. There. Alright. I think now would be a good time. You can see the lower legs at least. And this arm. The difference in the starkness of the blue versus the black. You look at the legs, the arms, you can see the black just really stands out very much. The blue not as much, but sometimes you just want a little something different. I'm getting a little clogged, so I'm gonna there. Oh, yeah. I don't know how well that's shown up, but if you look right there on my hand, there was pigment that dried in the brush. So I went a little long without cleaning out my tip. There, okay. That's better. So it should flow much better now. There we are. Uh-oh. Try that again. There. All right, I have hit the point where I desperately want to stop panel lining for a little while. So I'm taking him off. And I'm going to grab another model. Because you know me at this point. Why work on one model when you can work on 15? There's another one. Shh, keep it secret. Aaron doesn't know he's getting this. Start with that base. Dark warm gray. I grabbed that Vallejo Detail Synthetic number 3 that I tried out last time and really did like. Surprised how much I did. I'm going to use that for base coating this because it delivered paint in the way that I want to right now. No more paint. Oop. I could start to see it peeling away from the sticky. All right. Oh, I see one more spot underneath that I really want to hit. There we go. Oh. All right. Okay, well, that's base coated. For those that are new, that's a surprise for the guy who placed this order. I'm going to match it to his mercenary unit. This is the same model. It's an LRM carrier that I did up with his unit colors and insignia. I just did a quick job on this. Mostly because I'm including these because I was teasing him that every respectable or disrespectable mech mercenary unit needs a couple of missile carriers. So, all right. Well, I think I'm going to stop there for the night, and I want to thank everybody for joining me. And I hope you have a good rest of your night.